It's time to Loki your best and love everybody there. Loki episode 2 review. Let's get the conversation started. Hello and welcome to LexiCon. It is Maddie.
Lexi.
Dylan.
Reviewing episode 2 of the Disney Plus series Loki exclusively for our YouTube channel. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff as we say over on our other YouTube channel, Vidiocy, and also check out the main podcast which drops every Sunday at lexiconpodcast.wordpress.com. Right off the bat, of course, spoilers for episode 2 and episode 1. If you haven't seen that yet, we may refer back to it.
Yep.
And with that out of the way, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Loki episode 2, aka the one that changes everything.
Yes.
Pretty much,
It sure seems like from the end of this that we're shifting from one type of series to a completely different one.
Very possibly.
Could be.
Who
knows? It's Loki.
Yeah, we don't 100% know what to expect yet.
And we started this episode out, appropriately enough, in the 80s, because that's where our podcast has been for a while, and we'll continue to be this weekend at least.
In
1985 in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, at a Renaissance
Love
fair.
Oshkosh.
Never been, but I love it.
We find some more TVA Minutemen being ambushed by Lady Loki.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really odd the way they used "I Need a Hero" in this scene. So who is? I mean, it's appropriate because they're in the 80s.
Yeah.
But who is the hero? Are they saying that Lady Loki is actually a hero and we don't know it? Or
they're just saying that those people needed
the TVA needs a hero and Loki is that hero? I'm very curious to see where it goes. Because obviously I don't think the TVA is all it's cracked up to be.
Oh, yeah, definitely
and,
not.
You know, we don't know what Lady Loki's motives are yet.
Very true. Even though we did get to see quite a bit more for
and
this
I assume by the end of the series at least, regular Loki will be more of the hero Loki we saw at the end of his MCU lifespan.
I agree.
It is interesting to see, and you can think it's good, bad, or indifferent, that he's still a bit of a scoundrel. He didn't have that, life-altering change that he seemed to have in the first episode.
Yeah.
Like, he saw his future, and now he's reformed.
Yeah.
Not quite yet.
It's a work in progress. It's kind of interesting to see,
And I'm not saying that because he chased after Lady Loki. That we don't know what his motives are there, and the way he was behaving at the end. He could have been just acting, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
But,
Loki definitely does that.
He tried to screw with the TVA multiple times in the episode.
Yeah, he could be doing his own thing. He could be doing something kind of for the TVA. We don't know what he's doing yet.
But along with the revelation of Lady Loki, which we all assumed was going to be that Loki variant,
yes,
we saw that at least part of her plan involves causing complete chaos with the timeline.
Yeah.
And she sent all those TVA reset buttons.
Yeah. Set a bunch
apparently
of
through different time periods, and caused all sorts of branch timelines.
Yeah.
Yep, potentially opening a multiverse. Technically, we have not seen that yet. So. And
of course, at the end, Loki got separated from Mobius. So instead of the buddy cop drama, it looked like it was going to be.
I was excited.
Is it going to be a chase through the time stream? Are we going to just divert from the TVA completely? It's going to be interesting to see where this goes from here.
I agree entirely, but I was excited. With this episode, we were seeing more of them kind of working together.
Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston together are great.
Yes, and we got to see them working on, the case, going through the files and stuff together. Loki fell asleep at the desk, and I was loving all of it.
Salad.
Yeah, and I loved it. I was just sitting there like, hell yeah, it's one of those detective shows with Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson. And then this happens, and it's like, oh, that was great.
This does help explain the scene from the trailers that we've seen where Loki and Lady Loki are sitting at the riverside together.
Yeah.
Looking up at the sky, so clearly there's going to be more interaction between them.
Yeah. Furthering the thing I said last week, we got a lot more footage stuff that we had seen in the trailers. I was going to say, though, obviously there are still a couple things left to be seen.
This episode cemented my beliefs, too, that the TVA is not what it seems to be, not what it purports to be.
I agree.
I don't even think there are timekeepers. I think they're a myth.
Possibly.
The fact that people are... I've known Wilson... I've never met them. And, maybe it's one timekeeper. Maybe it's Kang manipulating it all. Maybe there's something there, but I don't think there are really these timekeepers in this version of the Marvel Universe.
Or even if there is, it's not quite what they're made out to be to the TVA.
And in talking to Mobius, Loki parroted my words from our recent Videotic Theories and talked about the TVA propaganda.
Yeah.
Which just, again, lends credence to the theory that the TVA is not such a benevolent organization.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see exactly where we go with the TVA.
And Mobius played into that, too, where he's, we just accept it. We just,
It's real because we believe it is.
As long as we don't question it. So, it definitely seems to be setting up the TVA to be the villain, at least in one regard.
Yes. setting up quite a bit, it looks like.
I do think it's interesting. Dylan talks about, maybe we just saw the start of the multiverse, and of course we know, according to the TVA propaganda, there was a multiverse before.
Yes.
But I think this lady Lokiant,
Yep, that's what all of these are.
she's got to be from another timeline. She's got to be from another dimension, another universe. She can't just be a variant from the main, because if with the premise that we're all rolling on this main set timeline where everything has to be the way it is, Loki has to be exactly who he is.
Yep.
And even those other Loki variants they showed that look slightly different, the one that's like the big gorilla man, they have to be from alternate realities or different dimensions or what have you, because this Loki would never vary. If he did something to vary himself, that would set off alarm bells and they'd reset everything.
That's how this show started, was him varying from what he was supposed to do, so...
I mean, I suppose...
those variants could have escaped.
Loki did try to explain a little bit about his illusionary gifts.
Yeah.
And he tried to differentiate between casting an illusion and replicating himself, and I wasn't quite following what he was saying there.
Yeah, it's a little bit off.
So I suppose this could be a case of that style Loki just making himself look differently, just assuming this other form and staying in it. But if he's just completely genetically different, maybe not genetically, but I mean, it's a female Loki.
Yeah.
With blonde hair and shorter horns.
Very much.
So either he just changed his image, or if that's just the way that being was designed, for lack of a better word, it had to come from an alternate reality.
Yeah. It's exciting to see where it goes.
Yeah.
So, other than that, the only thing I got from this episode is the fact that I think at the end of this story arc, we need Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston in Speedos on jet skis.
I love the jet skis.
Didn't they hug it out?
With some 80s, like Miami Vice type music. Yeah. That was Blaster Master, but in my head it sounded right.
Nice. I just know that hopefully very soon, if not, well, probably not next episode, but very soon, I need Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson back together doing the detective thing.
Who knows where it's going?
Now I really want that. It's like they gave that to me, so now I just need it.
Pretty much the only thing we know we're getting is 2016 Loki.
I'm still looking forward to that. I'm kind of wondering if we're going to get to see a kid Loki.
Maybe.
Just some of what we were seeing and hearing in this episode. I'm hoping maybe we can get that at some point. And it would tie into the rest of the Young Avengers stuff that they've been doing.
I'm assuming we're going to get a lot more Loki variants than just 2016 and Lady.
I wonder how they're going to spin this off into a second season, because I thought it was basically confirmed they're going to do a second season of this.
Yeah, from what I heard, that was already starting pre-production or something.
Yeah.
And I also wonder how, with these branching timelines and multiverse, how this is going to tie into all the Marvel movies going forward. I mean, obviously Black Widow's not going to play into it because that was already done. And I know Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but that's one title. How does it work into all the titles going forward?
Yeah.
Especially if they keep this... And they don't have to keep the storyline going. Obviously, you can have a series and you have one storyline for a season, then you have a different storyline, so they could solve this, and then Loki and Owen Wilson could team up and be, time cops or whatever.
I mean, who that's fine.
We could see... With the multiverse, we could see them doing things in other...
True.
Universes. So we could see that. It could also be a wait and see, because isn't Tom Hiddleston supposed to be coming back in the next Thor?
I don't know.
I think the character Loki is, and I assumed it was Tom Hiddleston, but I don't know.
Technically, with the multiverse, all the what ifs are canon from the What If show.
Yeah. But, so for all we know, season 2 could have something that we'll see set up with some of the movies.
Yeah.
So did y'all like this episode better than the first episode?
Yes.
The same? Or,
I think it's a bit better.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I do wonder what it portends for the rest of the series, though. But
yeah,
as always with these Marvel episodes, we gotta just wait and see.
Yeah, for me, the second episode, it feels like, I don't know, we got a little more. I really enjoyed what we got, and it's got me really excited for the next episode, Like, episode 1, the pacing was kind of off, and it was just like, okay, I'll see what happens next week. And then this one, it's like, oh, what's gonna happen next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Alright then, well, anybody got anything else? I don't have a whole lot of takeaways, which is not a bad thing either, because I just enjoyed it for what it is. I don't have a lot that I gotta break this down and why they do this and why they do that. I mean,
yeah.
I voiced what I had to say. I did like the scene where they were fighting Loki and Lady Loki, who was using other bodies before it was revealed to be Lady Loki. They were fighting in the department store.
Yeah, Boxcar.
And Loki was like, Akio Roomba.
Yeah, he summoned a vacuum. Harry Potter summoned a broom. But, you brought that up, and I was remembering that I noticed on Twitter somebody pointed this out, kind of, but I knew it looked familiar when I saw it on the TV, how he, the position when he falls onto the floor, same one from Ragnarok, when he was falling.
Mm-hmm.
And of course in Pompeii he did the same thing he did on Asgard, the same kind of pose. I love seeing him release the goats, his horned friends. Loved it.
And also apparently Mountain Dew Code Red still exists in 2050.
Hand robot dogs have not improved.
Maybe they're cheaper now.
Maybe. But,
okay.
So
it's fun.
that was a 2050, right? In
Yeah.
Alabama, you reckon that gray-haired dude who was sort of wrangling up the survivors there in the warehouse, is that Conrad Thompson?
Totally.
It's all Conrad.
Yep.
Not that I wish him to end up in an apocalyptic hurricane. I do think it's interesting that this series defines apocalyptic events as something that it's apocalyptic to a small portion of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
We think of the apocalypse as something
Huge.
wipe out, most of the entire world's population. But this sort of defines them as things that wipe out
Pieces.
populations in not necessarily confined areas, but they can be confined to just a specific area or a
Yeah.
specific group of people.
Yeah. That is an interesting
And
take
apparently,
on
according to the end
apocalypse.
credits, the D.B. Cooper event is defined as an apocalyptic event, which I don't understand at all.
Me neither.
Yeah,
Unless apocalyptic events are in this world are only defined as things where certain portions of them disappear without a trace. Pompeii people were wiped out, Ragnarok people were wiped out, D.B. Cooper himself disappeared.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
We'll either find out more as we go on or we won't.
We might.
We'll just wait and see.
Yep.
Alright, well, on that note, I don't think I have anything else to say. You guys got anything more?
I don't think so either. I was going to point out, Loki seemed kind of hyper and excited during this episode with his theory and all that. That's exactly how I feel about the next episode.
That's Loki for you.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we'll definitely be reviewing that right here on our YouTube channel. Make sure you come back then when the conversation will continue. And until then, I will continue to be Maddie.
Lexi.
Dylan.
And this is LokiCon concluded.
Bye.